Hey y'all, it's your boy the Scholarsaurus back with a brand new video to open up the new year. I know I'm 6 or 7 days late, but you know what? We won't count that. Now you're probably wondering why I'm using old footage, and the reason being is I unfortunately left this series because life got in the way and it's not fun for anybody. So I felt it prudent, nay, my responsibility to give you guys this premium quality content that you see in front of you. And I'm just bolstering my own confidence so I don't sound like an idiot, which I am frequently all the time. Self-deprecating aside, I am going to be reviving a series that I've been wanting to do for so long, and to be honest, I lost a little bit of a creative drive for it. But you know what? Like I said, it's the new year, it's the new me. Scarletsaurus is going to be coming back. 2024 is going to be his year, boys and ghouls. I said that off script, and I don't like how it came out. This is the Sculpting Dinosaurs Remastered Edition. Episode 1, Part 1 is the King of the Dinosaurs, T.rex. Now, I'm starting off with the head. Usually what I like to do with my reference material is I like to stay within the physical outlines of the reference photos themselves. So when I build clay on top and or foam or latex skin, it doesn't look super bulky and out of place. And once Aladar has gotten the proper butt-scratching taxes out of the way, we can get back to sculpting. Apparently it wasn't enough because he decided to come back for seconds. Nobody likes a quitter, Aladar. I appreciate that. Once I've got the overall silhouette of the jaw, I'm going to start working on the top of the skull, starting with the back of it. Once we've got the armature for the back of the skull ready to go, we can start working on the eyebrows, like right now, with a magic trick, hell yeah. Using my trusty, dusty pliers, I will bend them into shape to form the base for where we're going to have the eyebrows. And I usually bring out my silver Sharpie for this, especially since it is a darker colored wire armature. And we can bend that into shape with the dots that we have formed in place. I'm then going to bend the wires that are still poking out with my fingies and use that to create the bridge of the snout. And then I'm going to be using some snippers to get rid of the excess because we're going to be making the tip of the nose with a separate piece of wire and then just wrap it around once or twice, or heck, even 3 times with some smaller gauge wire. And once Aladar graces me with his presence again, now looking like he came straight out of the early 2000s with his spiky hair, we can get back to business. Once I have the armature where I want it, I will be using some super glue and baking soda. What I do is I will take a pinch of baking soda, just a pinch, and put it on the areas that I don't want to have moving while I sculpt. I will then take a little dabble of super glue and apply it to said baking soda, and it'll cause a chemical reaction that will harden the area and make it virtually indestructible like Superman. Now that I have everything locked into place and the armature will not move anytime soon, we can start applying some clay to the armature. I'm going to be using some original Sculpting beige to give me a sense of reference for the skull, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I'm going to be covering it with clay later on and adding more significant details on the exterior of the clay, which in retrospect it kind of doesn't make sense, but it gives me some sense in that I'm a glutton for punishment and I regret nothing. Now that the armature is covered, we can start adding the holes. Now while the skull is in the oven baking off its sweet, sweet, adorable self, we can get started on making the body. I'm not sponsored by Reynolds Foil, but I would appreciate it nonetheless. I'm starting off with a little tiny ball and wrapping increasing amounts of tinfoil onto it to help bulk out the cage of the ribs. And now that the chest cavity is filled out and ready to go, we will be filling out the rest of the body, and we will get started on that in 1 second. Now that that's out of the way, we can get back to bulking out the body. We're going to be doing the neck separately and then reattaching it to the body later. We're going to be doing the same exact method with the tail. But for now, we change planes of existence. So right here, I am just lining up the foil tadpole Terminator thingy. Just try and get the best amount of space available for more foil to go underneath to create the belly. I will then be wrapping that with more tin foil and then subsequently wrapping it with some masking tape to help consolidate everything, which will be covered in clay soon enough. Now you're probably wondering why I decided to blur out my foot during this whole excursion, and to that I say, what are you doing in my house? Please leave. I am not going to be responsible for putting my dogs on r/feet pics. You know who you are. Get out of here. Unless you like what you see and you'd like to, subscribe today and become a member of the channel. That's cool. And while the body is currently in its first stage of baking, we have moved on to the head, which I had covered beforehand in some regular medium gray Sculpey and put in for its second bake. I have then taken some bacon bond, as you can see here, and applied little tiny dots that I will use a silicone tool to help soften the edges and create some pretty believable scales. As I said before, I'm a glutton for punishment. Please don't judge me. And if you can see here, later on too, the teeth will change. They're honestly just placeholders for me to get some more reference to see where I'd like them placed when I put the gums in and put the mouth together. As I said before, I'm a glutton for punishment. Please don't judge. And now the head has gone for its third and second to final bake with all the scales and details put into it, including the scars. I'm going to be moving on to the body again. As I said before, I had constructed the neck beforehand and then applied it to the body post-bake. I am then using a sharp tool with the dry clay to carve in some scaly textures. I discovered this method, I can't remember where exactly, but it was relatively recent, and I decided to give it a try. And even though it may seem like it looks painstaking and stressful, it's actually quite worth it because the detail that you get out of this method is absolutely immaculate. I cannot speak enough how much I love doing stuff like this. And with that, we are done with part 1. I'm so excited. I hope you guys are too for the future of this channel and just things in general. Guys, I hope you enjoyed sincerely. It really means a lot to me that you guys watch my stuff. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, take care.